Good evening, doctors. Welcome again. Today we are going to discuss about neurology MCQs. This is part second. 55-year-old man presents with 8-month history of progressive difficulty in swallowing and dysarthria. He has lost 6 kg in weight. On examination, he has a fasciculation on the tongue and brisk jaw jerk. What is likely diagnosis? So guys, think here. 8-month history of progressive difficulty in swallowing and dysarthria, lost 6 kg weight, and fasciculation of tongue and brisk jaw jerk. So this is a case of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Let's discuss. A fifth of patient with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis have bulbar involvement. This is a classical presentation of patient with this variant of motor neuron disease. Okay. 60-year-old man has had 6 seizures over the past week. Seizures are generalized tonic-clonic. He has complained of severe headache and examination shows increased tone on the left with mild hemiparesis. There is papillae edema in both eye. An emergency MRI scan shows a mass in right cerebral hemisphere. What is most likely diagnosis? So this is a case of, you can pause this video and think the best answer, but best answer here is glioblastoma. Let's discuss. The rapid onset of symptoms make it likely that malignant lesion and the most common malignancy of the central nervous system is a glioma. Glioblastoma multiforme is by far the most common and most malignant of the glial tumors. Okay. A 42-year-old man has weakness in extensor of upper limb and flexor of lower limb muscles. His speech has a nasal quality. There is a tongue fasciculation. So the likely diagnosis here. So this is a case of, motor neuron disease. So this is a case of motor neuron disease. Okay. As we discussed in the first question also, motor neuron disease. Upper motor neuron signs include muscle spasticity, slowed recruitment, voluntary muscle strength, weakness, especially in extensor of upper limb and flexors of the lower limb muscles, pseudobulbar palsy. Okay. Following a football injury, a man has developed foot drop and has lost sensation of dorsal part of foot. Which nerve is most likely have been involved? In foot drop, the nerve involved is common peroneal nerve. Okay. The common peroneal nerve controls foot eversion and dorsiflexion. Sensation is supplied to the anterior lateral part of the leg and dorsum of the foot. Okay. 70-year-old woman with a history of hypertension and insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus presented with new onset of uncontrolled violent movements of the left extremities, accompanied by headaches. Neurological examination was normal except for the constant relentless violent movement of the left arm and the leg. Although she was fully awake, alert and oriented, she could not stop the abnormal movement except for a short period of time. What this presentation is likely due to? This presentation is mainly likely due to, firstly, listen question, uncontrolled violent movements, left extremities accompanied by headaches, violent movement left arm and leg, fully awake, alert, oriented, she could not stop abnormal movement. It is due to subthalamic nucleus. This is mainly due to subthalamic nucleus. Hemibellismus is a rare disorder characterized by involuntary wild flinging movements of the limbs. It is usually unilateral, hence hemibellismus, and is called by lesion in the contralateral subthalamic nucleus. 30-year-old patient has recurrent episodes of severe unilateral pain felt in the region of the eye and forehead associated with lacrimation. The most likely diagnosis here is, so this is a case of when headache, or we can say unilateral pain felt in the region of eye, forehead associated with lacrimation, always cluster headache. Cluster Cluster headache causes severe, usually unilateral pain felt in the region of eye and forehead associated with lacrimation, conjunctival injection, and occasional transient Horner syndrome. Oxygen and triptans may arrest attacks. Prophylaxis with propranolol, pioglitazone, and especially verapamil may prevent further episodes. Okay. 70-year-old man has 2-month history of progressive weakness in his legs. He has weakness in hip and knee distribution. Knee and ankle reflexes are brisk. Plantar are up going bilaterally. He has sensory loss from legs upward towards the T5 level. Which of the following is likely diagnosis here? So this is a case of 2-month progressive weakness in his legs, weakness hip knee distribution, knee and ankle reflexes brisk, plantar upgoing bilaterally, sensory loss legs towards the T5 level. This is a case of meningioma. Okay. A meningioma involving high in the spinal cord thoracic region can cause T5 level. The rest are all causes of spastic paraparesis but are unlikely to cause a sensory level on clinical examination. 50-year-old patient is assessed for gradually progressive dementia over several months. While he was on ward, he was noticed to myoclonic jerk on his hand. Remember, progressive dementia and myoclonic jerk. This is due to Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. This is due to mainly Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, dementia and myoclonic seizures. Okay, let's discuss. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease usually occurs in the 45 to 75 year age group and most commonly present as a rapidly evolving multifocal dementia with myoclonic jerks in the later stages. New variant CJD, which has been strongly linked to infection from meat products of cows and with BSE, tends to present behavioral psychiatric disturbance progressive to incoordination and dementia with myoclonic jerk. Okay. A 45-year-old man has presented with lower back pain radiating to his buttocks associated with lower limb paresthesia. Over the last few days, he is unable to walk due to leg weakness. The ankle reflexes are absent. So this is a case of presented with lower back pain radiating to buttocks and lower limb paresthesia, few days, unable to walk. This is a case of disc prolapse, Guillain-Barré. This is a case of Guillain-Barré syndrome. Let's discuss why this is a case of Guillain-Barré. Guillain-Barré syndrome preceded by respiratory or gastrointestinal symptoms in 2/3 but not all cases. Lower back pain often radiating to the buttocks occurred in 1/3 of case. Difficulty walking in case. Distal weakness, absent distal reflexes such as GBS. So 62-year-old man with a resting tremor of his right arm. He was found to have cogwheel and bradykinesia. His gait is shuffling in nature. Which one of the following drug is most likely to help her tremor? So here the best answer here is Benzhexol. Okay. Benzhexol is an anticholinergic drug used to alleviate tremors in Parkinson's disease. The first line treatment is with levodopa, which is the metabolic precursor of L-dopa. Benzhexol is not effective against bradykinesia. Okay. 46-year-old female had a traumatic left side tooth extraction 6 years ago. Since then, she is complaining of facial pain, mainly over upper part of left face with intermittent exacerbation. Occasionally, the pain radiates to the right side of the face. What is likely diagnosis? This is a atypical facial pain. Let's discuss. Complicated dental procedure or other forms of trauma can lead to form of atypical facial pain, which is also known as post-traumatic facial pain neuralgia. The pain is usually self-limiting after several years. Okay. 25-year-old secretary had several episodes of brief jerking of the right arm over the past few weeks. There is no loss of consciousness. A CT scan of head is unremarkable. Which is the best medication to commence? So the best medication to commence here is carbamazepine. Carbamazepine. Okay. Yeah. Brief episodes of jerking suggest of simple partial seizure. Carbamazepine is a first-line therapy for this. A 63-year-old man who has been diagnosed with a glioma is commenced on chemotherapy. 4 days later, he begins to behave strangely and has suicidal ideation. Which of the following has suicidal ideation? It is mainly due to steroid psychosis in chemotherapy. Let's discuss. Yeah. 65-year-old man has a history of hypertension. He presents with sudden onset dysarthria, vomiting, hiccup, and vertigo. Examination: right-sided Horner syndrome, right-sided cerebral ataxia, loss of pain and temperature sensation in the right side of the face, and loss of pain and temperature sensation in the left upper and lower limbs. What is likely diagnosis? This is a case of lateral medullary syndrome. This is a case of lateral medullary syndrome. In lateral medullary syndrome, inferior cerebral artery involvement 9th and 10th now involved leads to dysphagia. A 60-year-old man present with drowsiness and confusion. A friend says he has been confabulating about having his wallet stolen. On examination, he is uncapped, his pupil reflexes are normal, and eye movements are normal. There were otherwise no focal neurological deficits. A CT scan of the brain showed mid-cerebral atrophy. He has MCV 105. Which diagnosis is likely here? So this is a case of Korsakoff psychosis due to alcoholism. Let's discuss. High MCV suggests heavy alcohol drinking. He is delusional, having his wallet stolen, and also there are no signs of nystagmus and cerebral signs of support Wernicke's encephalopathy. Short memory loss, amnesia, personality changes are also seen in Korsakoff psychosis. Okay. 45-year-old lady presents with a weak history of spontaneous deep right shoulder pain radiating to the neck. There is also weakness and then wasting of the right deltoid spinatus and with triceps muscles. Which of the following is the diagnosis? So here is a case of brachial neuritis. This is a case of brachial neuritis. Let's discuss why. Idiopathic brachial neuritis is an immune-mediated disorder often preceded by an upper respiratory tract infection. Immunization. The initial feature is abrupt onset of unilateral arm pain or shoulder pain. There is also evolving weakness which was 2-3 weeks after the onset of pain. Okay. 60-year-old man present with difficulty with his mobility. He has increased on bradykinesia, a pill rolling tremor, and a shuffling gait. Which medication should commence first? So best answer here is, we already discussed this question. For bradykinesia, best is O-carledopa. Okay. is the first medication used to increase dopaminergic activity in a basal ganglia. Apomorphine is used for on and off fluctuation. Benztropine is used for anticholinergic side effects. Salicylic is a MAO inhibitor, and amantadine is an antiviral drug. Both are used as a second line drugs. Apomorphine is used for on and off fluctuations. Okay. 50-year-old man present with 5-year history of headaches and pain has gradually worsened. Now present daily, particularly on waking. He described the pain as dull, generalized and constant. It is exacerbated by bright light. Neurological examination is unremarkable. She needs to. Oh, that question I already. 60-year-old patient has diplopia. Looking to the left. Sixty-year-old patient has diplopia. Looking to the left, when the left eye covered, the outer image disappears. So this is a case of left abducens. Okay, let's discuss. Covering the affected eye causes the false image, outer image to disappear. In this case, the left eye involved, hence left lateral rectus abducens nerves. Okay. 42-year-old woman present with a history of headaches. She also reported menstrual irregularities. On examination, she was noted to be obese. Fundoscopy reveals bilateral papilledema. Tone, power and reflexes in limbs normal. Investigation shows a normal CT scan, MRI, EEG normal. Lumbar puncture reveals elevated CSF pressure, but the constituents of CSF are normal. In this particular patient, which of the following would suggest the complication has arisen? So this is a case of visual loss. Let's discuss. Diagnosis of idiopathic intracranial hypertension, benign intracranial hypertension. In this condition, papilledema may result in enlarged blind spot. Uniocular visual loss would suggest infarction of optic nerves consequent on severe and long-standing papilledema. A patient presents with weakness of knee extension and ankle eversion. Which of the following nerve roots could be damaged? So here the damage is L4, number 4. L4 is involved in knee extension and ankle inversion. The tibial nerve carries L4 and L5 roots. 25-year-old man has come from Mexico 5 years ago. Since a year ago, he has 2 tonic-clonic seizures a week. On examination, he appears well with no focal neurological deficits. A CT scan shows multiple calcified lesions in the brain, that is neurocystocirrhosis, is caused by Taenia solium pork tapeworm. May seizures due to localized inflammation accompanies degeneration in cerebral cortex. Okay. 42-year-old lady present with weakness, diplopia and fatigue. She has past medical history of rheumatoid arthritis. On examination, there was bilateral partial ptosis and weakness of abduction of both eye. So this is a case of myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis. Okay. Most likely diagnosis is myasthenia gravis. There is association between myasthenia gravis, pernicious anemia, systemic lupus erythematosus and rheumatoid arthritis. The condition is more common in women with a peak incidence around the age of 30. It characterized by fatigability of the proximal limb muscles, ocular and bulbar muscle reflexes are initially preserved but may be fatigable. Okay. 30-year-old man presents with a 6-month history of recurrent episodes, altered behavior. During these episodes, he develops a motionless stare with associated lip smacking, grimacing, chewing movements, scratching or gesturing. The partner describes him able to labile emotions. He may get sudden outburst of aggression or agitation. So this is a case of 30-year-old man. Let's discuss. We select the point. Altered behavior, motionless stare, associated with lip smacking, grimacing, chewing movements, scratching and gesturing. Labile emotions. For emotions, that is frontal lobe, temporal lobe. Features of seizures beginning in the temporal lobe can be extremely varied, but the certain patterns are common. In temporal lobe epilepsy, there may be mixture of different feelings, emotion, thoughts. Remember emotions, thoughts. For T for thoughts, T for temporal. That's why thoughts and emotion for temporal lobe. This is a trick to remember. 55-year-old drug user who is homeless, present with lethargy. General examination reveals poor hygiene and sacral sore. He has bilateral ptosis and difficult swallowing. There is also general weakness all limbs. His lethargy is worse in the evenings. So this is a case of botulism. Let's discuss. The main differentials are myasthenia gravis, Lambert-Eaton myasthenia, and botulism. But in the context, botulism is more likely. Botulism is a paralytic disease caused by neurotoxins of Clostridium botulinum. Wound botulism caused by a systemic spread of toxin produced. Okay. By organism inhibiting wounds, trauma, surgery, subcutaneous heroin injection. Neurological symptomatology often has been described a progressive descending weakness or paralysis that affect muscles inverted by cranial nerves. Respiratory difficulty arise from airway obstruction and diaphragmatic weakness. Diplopia, dysarthria, dry mouth, and generalized weakness are among the most common presenting symptoms. Okay. 50-year-old teacher develops a sided facial weakness in association with hearing loss and pain in right ear. On examination, there is vesicular rash over the right ear and right lower motor neurons. Seventh nerve palsy. What is likely cause here? So this is a case of Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, herpes zoster. Okay, let's discuss. This is Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. Primary pathophysiology. Ramsay-Hunt syndrome is located in geniculate ganglion of 7th cranial nerve. Classically, Ramsay-Hunt syndrome has been associated with varicella zoster virus. It is associated with 7th nerve palsy, vertigo, ipsilateral hearing loss, and tinnitus. Okay. 55-year-old man has left sided. 55-year-old man has difficulty getting out of chair. Examination, proximal muscle weakness. Hemoglobin 12.5, MCV 79, WCC 7, platelets 220, urea 6, creatinine 110. Creatinine kinase very high, 7000. What investigation should be done next? So we can do here. Next is cell biopsy. Clinical features are consist with dermatomyositis or polymyositis. A suitable area should be identified by electromyography or muscle biopsy. For muscle biopsy shows muscle necrosis, phagocytosis or muscle fibers and inflammatory infiltrate. A 66-year-old man has had long-standing tremors in both his hands and forearms. Examinations reveals normal tone, power and reflexes in his arms. The tremors improve when he drinks alcohol. So this is a case of benign essential tremor. Following features supports a diagnosis of essential tremor, bilateral action tremor of the hands and forearms. Absence of other neurological signs except cogwheel phenomenon. Okay. 30-year-old man present with a 5-day history of weakness in his arms, legs, accompanied by tingling. He had several episodes of bloody diarrhea illness 2 weeks ago. On examination, there was leg and arm weakness and flaccid deep tendon reflexes. Which test would best help confirm the diagnosis? So, this is a case of Guillain-Barré syndrome. EMG. Yeah, the diagnosis is likely to be Guillain-Barré syndrome. The two best tests are EMG shows acute demyelination changes and CSF raised protein. Campylobacter serology should also be sent for this patient. 70-year-old man had multiple episodes of unilateral amaurosis fungus. He has risk factor of being a smoker and hypertension. He is on atenolol aspirin and ECG shows atrial fibrillation. Carotid Doppler shows 80% of carotid stenosis. So the best answer here is carotidyrectomy than warfarinase. Okay. As there is more than 70% carotid artery stenosis and symptoms suggestive of emboli, endarterectomy is recommended. The patient should also be anticoagulated afterward in a view of atrial fibrillation. Okay. 50-year-old man has a history of hypertension and is a smoker. He complains of visual loss. Assessment shows the presence of right homonymous hemianopia. The structure damage is optichiasm. This is left occipital lobe. Right homonymous hemianopia. Okay, 43-year-old present with frequent headaches and loss of libido. He was found to have hypopituitarism on investigation. CT scan show pituitary tumor with suprasellar extension. Which of the following structure likely be compressed? That is optichiasm. 32-year-old woman has non-migraine. She gets periodic episodes of headache with visual symptoms. Which one of the following drugs should be used first in migraine attack? That is ibuprofen. Okay. In acute migraine attack, the first line treatments are simple analgesics such as aspirin, ibuprofen or paracetamol. Second line acute migraine, triptans, somatriptans, which work by selectively stimulating 5-hydroxytryptamine 1 receptor. 30-year-old woman has an 18-month history of unsteady gait, difficulty to speak and perform the fine movements with the fingers. She has a history of moderate alcohol intake. Neurological examination showed scanning dysarthria, horizontal nystagmus, lateral gauze, severe bilateral dysarthmia in upper and lower limbs, bilateral dyskinesis, severe gait ataxia and inability to maintain the sitting. What is diagnosis here? So this is a case of cerebral syndrome. The mnemonic cerebral signs vanish D. So remember, cerebral syndrome sign is vanish D. Like vertigo, ataxia, nystagmus, intention, tremor, scanning speech, hypotonia and dysdiagnosis. Okay. 60-year-old woman with headache and nausea suspected to having posterior cerebral artery thrombosis. Which of the following recognized feature of his occurrence is homonymous hemianopia? Posterior cerebral artery supplies the occipital lobe and occlusion causes damage to the visual cortex resulting in homonymous hemianopia. 50-year-old man has subjectively diminished light touch pinprick sensation, left hand extending to above the elbow joint position, sense is intact. He has difficulty distinguishing a cigarette from a pen using the right hand, his eye closed. His 2-point discriminated is 11 mm. That is due to anterior parietal. Sensory signs described here are indicative lesion, anterior parietal cortex, mid-post central gyrus. The cingulate gyrus is part of limbic system, mood and emotions. Okay. So temporal lobe for thoughts and parietal for, remember guys, parietal for limbics. Here there is sensation and touch for parietal lobe, sensation and touch for parietal lobe, emotions for temporal. 55-year-old man has been progressively getting more confused. His symptoms began about 3 years ago when he noticed leg stiffness. At present, his entire body feels stiff and resting tremor the limbs. His writing has become small over the last 6 months. He has developed hallucinations and reports seeing ghost fingers, also becoming forgetful on one occasion, leaving the gas cooker fire on. Examination mini mental score 10 by 30, increased tone throughout, which is spastic cog healing. There is a tremor in all limbs. Cranial nerve examination reveals restriction conjugate of gaze eye movements. His gait was shuffling with a tendency of fall backwards. What is most likely diagnosis? This is case of Lewy body dementia. Combination of progressive cognitive decline, fluctuating symptoms, visual hallucination, extrapyramidal signs, rigidity, bradykinesia more prominent than tremors, suggest Lewy body dementia. It is a progressive. Patients are at risk of falls and syncope. Symptoms and signs are Lewy body dementia probably results in a part from disruption of information flow from the striatum to neocortex. The cause is multifactorial, altered neuromodulator and neurotransmitter levels, acetylcholine, dopamine influence. The function are many neuronal circuits. Okay. 25-year-old female presents with 5-day history of ascending muscle weakness in both hands and feet. EMG confirms acute demyelinating sensing and motor neuropathy. What treatment should be started? So in this condition, the treatment is intravenous immunoglobulins, and this is a case of Guillain-Barré syndrome. Okay. Diagnosis is Guillain-Barré syndrome. It is preceded by diarrhea, campylobacter and chest infection. Example, mycoplasma in 2/3 of cases. Autonomic dysfunction and hyporeflexia are associated. Studies are shown that plasma exchange and IV immunoglobulin are equally effective in treating people within 2 to 4 weeks onset of Guillain-Barré syndrome. 35-year-old woman wakes up a sudden onset severe sharp headache. She has no neurological signs. CT of her head is normal. What is next investigation? Next investigation here is lumbar puncture. Okay, let's discuss why lumbar puncture. The diagnosis of subarachnoid hemorrhage needs to be excluded in a patient with acute sudden onset severe headache. The CSF sample should be sent for xanthochromia. Lumbar puncture is recommended 12 hours after the event to allow xanthochromia to develop. It is yellowish pigment, subtle, needs spectrophotometry which indicates the presence of bilirubin in the CSF. Okay. So guys, I already finished with this. If you have any queries, any question, you can ask me. If you're new on my channel, please subscribe it, and if you like this video, put like on it. Thank you. Good day. Goodbye. That's all.